Hi, my name is John and I'm here at the Eurogamer Expo in front of the Merlin game stand with
Mike Bithell, lead designer.
And we're going to talk a bit about Monster Mind and the Merlin game and Bossa Studios and anything else that comes to mind as we go.
Cool.
It's been a big year for you guys with Monster Mind.
Yeah, no, absolutely fantastic with Monster Mind, because we obviously were trying to do something a bit different, trying to make a more gamer-centric game on Facebook, and it was really well received. And you know, don't like to boast, but BAFTAs, Developer Awards, all manner of things. They were very nice. I got to meet someone from Mad Men, which made my life. That's the ultimate kind of objective.
Can't get any better than that.
That's why I got into the industry. Yeah, no, went really well, and we kind of wanted to try and take it further and do something completely different, take it in a different direction, and that's where Merlin came from.
And so it's the game based on the series on BBC?
That's right, yeah, no, we're hopefully building on the series. We're part of Shine Group, who developed the TV series, so we have just this ridiculous amount of access to all of their cool stuff. And we knew we wanted to do kind of fantasy RPG kind of side of things, and you know, Merlin is the fantasy kind of IP.
You can't get much bigger than that.
You can't really, and it's fantastic for that. We got to use this mythology that's existed for hundreds of years, and now obviously has a very cool young audience who love it. Massive international audience, like unprecedented. We were at Comic-Con with this a couple of months back, and it's big in America. It's scary.
That's something I didn't really know. Merlin's bigger in the States?
Across the world. I think it's broadcast, the number escapes me, but I think it's 100 countries around the world.
Blimey.
Massive. It's a massive show, obviously a very British show. It's a really good export all over the world, and it's just really exciting to be a part of it, obviously kind of trying to develop that across into a game environment.
And so what can you tell us about the game?
Okay, so we're describing it as a cooperative adventure game. It is a game where you join Merlin and Arthur and the other characters, and you go on adventures in Camelot, in Avalon, which is the country it's set in, all over the place, and you get to explore, fight cool monsters, discover things, solve mysteries, just build up this amazing character. In a gaming sense, it owes a lot to RPG history. You're building up a character, you're adjusting that character, making that character suit the way you want to play. But we're really trying to bring that to a broader audience, and bring that to an audience who don't know what Diablo is, or Mass Effect, or BioWare at all, or D&D. It's something that really sits with me the first time I tried to play D&D.
Right.
And the stuff that's really cool in RPGs and fantasy games is getting something really cool, creating a character that's your own, and then hitting a monster with a sword.
Having a great tale to tell about your character.
Exactly. And that's awesome, and that's the stuff that everyone loves in games like D&D. The problem is, for an audience who's not used to that history, who didn't grow up with those games, the numbers, the enormous amount of stats, the inventory management, there
is a giant wall that you run into.
There's an enormous wall which is invisible to us because we grew up with these games. And what we've really tried to do with Merlin is try and remove the bits of that which we can without harming the experience. So, for example, we don't have an inventory.
Right.
If you, when you buy things, obviously you get coins from monsters you kill. When you buy a new sword, you don't have to move that into an inventory and make sure that you've got enough weight allowance to allow for it. You own that sword. If you want to carry that sword into a mission, you can. You can only carry one sword into a mission, because who needs...
You only really need the one sword.
Well, obviously it depends which superhero or villain you're talking about, but yes. And those kind of logical things that we don't need that stuff to make a good RPG. Stats we try and keep as easy to understand and immediately accessible as possible. We don't overwhelm the player with DPS, but we will tell them how good one sword is compared to another in a way that feels natural and understandable. So it's that kind of thing of trying to keep a deep experience for gamers, the stuff that we love about this genre, but make it work for a larger audience.
And so we're going to be building our own characters in this game, right?
Absolutely. We have kind of... Well, we started off with two classes. We started off saying, okay, so the two characters you want to play in a Merlin game are a knight and a wizard. Like, those are the most obvious kind of those kind of characters. But what we realised when we started talking about the game and talking about it with players was most people didn't want to be one of those two things. They wanted to be a knight who could do a spell every now and again, or they wanted to be a wizard with a really cool sword.
Right.
And what we did therefore was we built a system where basically you can be anywhere on that scale you want to be, and the game still works and still functions. So you build your own character. You start off with, much like in the show, you start off with a character who's kind of weak and just getting started. You show up in Camelot with not a penny to your name, as is always the hero's story, and then you build up a character. You make him look the way you want to look. You leave male, female. You adjust what kind of armor and clothing you'll buy, weaponry, what spells you want to learn, this kind of stuff. So yeah, it's all about building your character. All the good RPG stuff, basically.
Great. And so, how much customization are we going to? Are we going to get ability to color the armor the way we want it to?
Initially, no, but that's awesome. At the moment, we're starting. Obviously, we're in closed beta right now.
Yep.
We're starting with quite a limited kind of set of objects and items, just to get started, just to see what players like, and then we want to develop the game based on what players do and say and want.
Well, there's my feedback. Colorable armor, colorable capes. Obviously, make them, you know, whatever suit your particular views.
I like it.
How long until people are going to be able to get their hands on the game?
Well, you can actually play the closed beta right now. If you go to merlinthegame.com, nice little plug there. It just rolls off the tongue.
It'll be at the bottom of the screen.
It just works. It's right there, right now.
Right there.
Right there. And you can go there and you can register your interest, get on our mailing list, and we will bring closer together, I think. Yeah. Thank you. I've ruined the whole thing. He was going for subtle, but I picked up on it.
We need to work out hand signals beforehand.
This is it. I say we move apart, actually, to make it more difficult for him. No. So you can log on and register. We're in closed beta, so there are right now players playing the game, and we're just going to build that up over time and hopefully kind of open it wide in a couple of months' time.
Right.
Within the next couple of months.
And so obviously Merlin's got a much different feel to the B-movie style of Monster Mind.
Yes, absolutely. In gameplay terms, the big thing is that Monster Mind was about blowing other people's stuff up. It was competitive. This game we're really trying to do cooperative.
Right. So it's basically different in every way imaginable.
It's absolutely different in every way imaginable. So it's cooperative in that you're playing with friends and helping each other out, and friendship's a big part of the show. And also, obviously, the art style. Like, that is massively different.
Yes.
We have an amazingly talented concept artist, a guy called Dan Lish, who's a comic book guy, and still is. And as far as I know, he still writes comics, still does the art for comics, and he just has done this amazing job creating a world, in my opinion, which builds on Merlin. It's not. We tried to approach it from the perspective of what would a Merlin animated TV show
Merlin's
look like.
happening over there, where these characters are over here.
And doing an extended universe that's the stuff I love. When I play a game based on an existing film or TV show, the ones I love are the ones which build on the world. I don't want to play the events of the movie with some levels haphazardly stuck in amongst them. What I want to do is I want to, be Riddick in Chronicles of Riddick and see a bit more of the story. I want to go play Knights of the Old Republic and be back in time and see how that all affects. To me, that's the stuff that really appeals. And that's what we've done, is hopefully built a game that works alongside the TV show, builds on it, extrapolates on what's there and what we like. Just stuff like in an episode in Series 2, a character might offhandedly remark, oh, you don't want to go down that wood because there's monsters down there.
And so, of course, the first thing everybody's...
You jump in that
Let's go over that way.
And stuff, character drops an item and it's never mentioned again in an episode. You're going to go and get that item because it's going to turn out to be really important. All this stuff, it's just trying to build on that world, because there's two kinds of players, right? There's going to be players who play the game who have fans of the show, have seen the show, and there's going to be players of the game who aren't aware of the show or don't watch it. And I want both of them to have a meaningful story experience. I want to make sure that the guy who's never seen Merlin hopefully knows what Merlin is, because it's Merlin. It's been around for a few hundred years. They should have called up.
You've had a chance.
They've had a chance to pick up. It's been mentioned. I want them to see a story that makes sense and works and they feel is important, and a cool heroic story of getting better. But if you've been watching the show since day one, I want you to constantly spot little references. That was painful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Constantly spot little references to the stuff you like, the characters you care about, the monsters you see. We even add our own monsters. We've got a new chap called the Kobold, who's never appeared in the Merlin show before, and they're a cool new monster type that we're introducing to that world. Really is that thing of building up on it, not just doing stuff that exists in the show. So it's very cool.
Awesome. Thanks for having a chat with us, and hopefully we'll be seeing you again next year with something even better.
Thank you. Thank you.